The other day, I was hiking with two of my American girlfriends, but they live in New Zealand as well, in Christchurch. And they were talking about bedding and everything. And one of my friends, she uses all organic cotton bedding and she irons her sheets. Like, so she only uses white, like hotel crisp white, and irons her sheets when she puts them on. And we were like, wow, ironing sheets. But my other friend was like, I only use linen bedding. I love linen. I'm all about the linen. Well, Cozy Earth, they sell the linen sheets and they shall sell the cotton sheets. So both friends can shop from the same place. And at cozyearth.com, if you go there and you order yourself some linen sheets or cotton sheets or loungewear or any other bedding, they sell lots of stuff, then you can get 16 off using my code AshleyNZ. In New Zealand, the letter Z is said Z, so it's Ashley NZ or Ashley NZ, all one word. And then you get, sorry, did I say 16? You get 15% off your total purchase from cozyearth.com. And it is an American company, so the shipping to the US is going to be a lot cheaper, but you can also get shipping to New Zealand as well if you spend enough. So if you want to try these really premium sheets and bedding, cozyearth.com. Okay, enjoy today's show. Welcome back to Moving to New Zealand with Ashley. Today, my guest is Si Thu, and he's not technically from America, but I'll let him share his own story about where he came from and how he got to New Zealand. So, welcome, Si Thu.
Hello, Ashley.
He's really excited to be here, you guys. I only had to push him into this a few times. Okay, so tell us about when did you move to New Zealand?
Be in the middle towards the end of 2024.
Okay.
Yeah. So almost running up to about 2 years here.
Has it been 2 years? It's
Almost.
crazy.
Mm.
And where did you come from?
Loaded question. But I moved here before New Zealand from the UAE. So
Yes.
yeah, where I lived most of my life.
Okay.
Mm.
And do you wanna talk about anywhere else that you've lived?
So I lived, okay, so originally I was born in Myanmar. So I lived there since I was like, when I was born,
Yeah.
till the age of 4. And then I moved to the UAE where I did all of my schooling from kindergarten and end of high school.
Okay.
And then this is when I went to the US. I did my bachelor stuff in the US, then came back for family reasons to the UAE
Yeah.
and then I had a pretty nice career, I suppose. Had some successes and such there, and then made the change to come to New Zealand.
Yes. Okay. And so a lot of people listening who wanna move to New Zealand are exploring different pathways and visa options and all of that. So do you wanna tell us what pathway you have chosen to take to get here?
Well, this is all public information from the government, but this is like what they call the skilled migrant category, like it's for students and such. You come here, and do your higher education, whether that's bachelor, master's, or PhD, in different points for different pathways,
Yeah.
subcategories of that pathway. And well, in my case, I did the MBA,
Mhm.
so we went through that process, and now I'm basically graduated and working on a post study
Mhm.
situation and working towards other, let's say, new things to do, such as residency and such.
Yep, because when you come on a student visa, you get the opportunity to work here for 3 years, this type
That's the
post-study.
graduate
Okay.
situation. But yeah, so you get the opportunity to work here for 3 years. Any job, there's no restriction, but the restriction, well, the let's say the considerations to think about is for applying next to residency, in which case there is certain things that you have to apply for when it comes to jobs. You can't just do any job and
Y
become a resident. Yeah.
You have to have a certain skilled jobs.
Yes.
So when you moved here, I know I know a lot of stuff already, but we need to talk like I don't know these things so our
Right.
guests can learn. You came with some pets?
Right.
Yeah, so what did you bring for pets and what was that process like?
So we brought 2 cats over. They're, well, They're both like mixes, but they're both the dominant breed, I suppose, is like Norwegian forest and domestic longhair,
Okay.
respectively. And they're, as you for cat lovers that might know, they're like long-haired cats and
Mhm.
everything. But they do keep warm because of that. So we contacted. Well, we looked at it from the New Zealand side and engaged some the best, let's say, relocator
Yeah.
people who would handle the process from here. And then we contacted the, let's say, the local people over the UAE, and then they
Oh.
basically facilitate both sides of the process.
Yeah.
We flew with Emirates because
Yeah.
they're the ones that can actually have a. It's a much easier process because of the direct flight.
Okay.
uh, Etihad would have gone through Sydney, and that would have had more complications because they would have had to spend time in Sydney Airport as well. So more
Oh.
issues there. So Emirates was the only.
So your
the-
pets were on the plane with you?
Yeah, they came on the same flight with us.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were in the cargo, but
Yeah.
they were on the same flight as us.
Yeah.
Now I think they would actually they're considering opening it up to the cabin for Emirates. I'm not sure where that process is, but they're considering it because Etihad it allows that. That was the reason why we thought about that airline first. But
Oh,
then going to Sydney would have created different set of problems to
yeah.
work through.
Yeah, because
Well,
then they would have had to.
quarantine
Yeah, yeah,
until the flight and the transfer, the transit and such like that. So that again, different problems. So a direct flight was just a little better.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, because I contacted a pet location company, like, on the US side, and they just had New Zealand experience, but they had experience with lots of countries.
Mm.
But for you, you actually came right to a New Zealand pet relocator, and then they found someone in your area, in your home country to help with that end of it.
Right.
That's wise, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like what I said. There's two legs of it.
Mhm.
So the relocator in from the Dubai side would basically be responsible for taking it from our house.
Yeah.
They would go to the airport, they would do all the checks there, the pre-clearance and such, like paperwork, documentation, all that, and they would get it on the plane, and they would give uh, photo updates of us while they were, in their little boxes, and
Mhm.
you had to specially buy and such over there, and like specially made for the cargo hold.
You to buy special.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, pretty sure you saw it at my house, but yeah, and then they would recommend you do, for example, like give a piece of clothing so that they remember your smell and
Yeah.
be like calm and stuff. So, things like that. You can personalize it a little bit, but it's quite spacious actually. They would have like water and some,
Yeah.
not really food, but they do have water. But then they would like periodically the flight attendants or whoever is down below would look into them to make sure everything's okay.
Okay.
This is what I've been told.
Because 'Cause you're not allowed to give them any sedation or anything.
No.
Did you know? Yeah. Because some people want to, like, oh, not sedate them, like, to sleep, but give them some kind of, like, Valium, but apparently you can't do that.
In our case, at least our pets were pretty well behaved and calm about it, so that wasn't a huge issue. Yeah. Yeah, so the relocator from the Dubai side was, like, responsible for that, so they were on the plane, and then once they got to New Zealand, the people here, they already have all this
Yeah.
information. They would start their process from there, and they would take it from the cargo hold to
Quarantine.
directly to the
Did they
quarantine.
do the Queenstown I mean, sorry, the Auckland quarantine or Christchurch? Where did you pick them up from?
They were delivered
Oh.
to our house by the relocator.
Oh, so you got, like, the really fancy relocator.
That's what I'm trying to remember whether it was actually. I'm pretty sure no, I'm pretty sure it was Auckland. They
Okay.
just took it from the airport and went to the Auckland one.
And then they flew them down
Yeah, and then
here
they
after
and then they brought
quarantine.
it in the van.
Help with the 6 months leading up to it? Well, with dogs, you have to go through a 6-month process. Did the cats need to do that? Like, you start getting all this
Yeah,
stuff done 6 months ahead of time?
it was definitely 3 to 6 months,
Okay,
something like
yeah.
that, yeah. I don't
Ugh.
remember the exact time frame, but it could have been 6 months, yes.
Do you have rabies in the EU?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
no, you need to get the
Yeah, but
the
do
the
you
vaccine, yeah.
right, but, like, do you have like, are rabies there?
I believe so,
Yeah.
yes. It's one of the countries that they have
Has
different
it?
categories that
Yeah.
it's in the countries where you have to have it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Because yeah, because there's rabies in the US, obvious well, it's not obvious to everyone, but we have we have rabies, but New Zealand's never had one case of
Yeah,
rabies,
which is
so
why they
yeah.
mandated, but this is fine because we have it, as a yearly annual
Yeah,
thing anyway.
right. So it's not on the schedule for like my new dog was well, she's not new anymore, but she was born here. So
Mm.
they don't give them rabies shots here. If they're born here, they'd only need to have it if they went overseas. Yeah. Okay. So the cats arrived, they were happy and they liked their new home.
I believe so, yes. Yeah.
And what did you bring? Did you just bring a couple suitcases? Did you ship stuff?
Think about that. Like, so we did ship some stuff, and then
Yeah.
it's there was an element before where because of family reasons of my partner, we did look into Australia too. So we did have some stuff shipped like 1 year in advance to
Oh,
Australia.
wait, 1 year?
Different
Yeah,
reasons, but
yeah,
like, but so that was already there. So we didn't actually have to ship a whole lot. But then, granted, that 1 year ahead stuff was also things that I don't use on a day to day basis,
yeah,
very specialized stuff. So yes, there was things, some things were shipped, but like everything else was carefully packaged and brought over with the weight
yeah.
allowance. So that was not really a big issue. We did also sell off a lot of, home
Household
furniture
stuff,
and
yeah.
household stuff. So that wasn't brought over, only the most necessary things. And then in general, we were, I would say, mostly a minimalist type of vibe. So again, like since we were going towards that type of, let's say, household or
Yeah, yeah,
items in the house kind of vibe, like it was fine. It wasn't a huge problem to bring everything over.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And you furnish your house here with just stuff you found here?
Right. Like all the furniture at the house was stuff bought here.
Yeah,
Yes. And then had to reassemble it.
yeah.
Mm.
And you live here in Christchurch like Ben without a car?
Yeah, currently so far there are plans to get a car, but
Yeah,
there's not a pressing need. It's been very useful in the past, like let's say month or so, because competition arrived for Uber, so
yeah.
everything's been super cheap with like going around town.
Wait, is it D
Yeah.
Diddy?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a new entrant for ride sharing, like a new Uber or Lyft, but it's called, well, I call it Diddy. Like, and the marketing for this company is a little wacky. Have you seen the guy like they use for their marketing?
The New Zealand guy, no, I
He's
haven't.
like this, he's on billboards and I almost like crash. He's very, look on their Instagram. He is strange.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, if they're trying to like, I don't know if this is a guy that they give rides to or if they're trying to say this is what your Diddy driver is going to look like because that's a deterrent. It's like really strange. No, like
Okay.
he's it kind of looks like a drunk guy. I don't know, from the 80s. That's what he looks like. So middle aged. Yeah. Yeah. So Anna and I see the billboard sometimes and then she's like, and you want me to get a Diddy? So Diddy's been giving all these free rides to like get people,
Well, heavy discounts.
yeah, heavy
Yeah.
discounts. But then Uber's stepping up to compete. So now Uber gives all these discounts. And so she gets rides for like $2 home from school instead of taking the bus. And you're acting like this too. You're also avoiding the bus and getting all your cheap rides. Well, I was talking to Ben's wife last night, and she said she's loving not having a car because her days are no longer consumed by driving her kids everywhere. So she has 2 kids and she's like, they just expect me to bring them everywhere and drive them. And now I can't. So she was like, I love that I have like, there's no excuse. They have to take the bus or ride a bike or
Maybe get some lessons from her then for your own case.
about not giving rides. As Si Thu and I are sitting here, my 15-year-old is texting nonstop, wanting a ride home from school. After I already said I will be in a meeting, but she doesn't think my meetings are important enough. And I guarantee you, in the next half an hour, I am going to get an alert from Uber because she's like on the teen account. I will get an alert that she's in an Uber. I don't know how she's paying for that because it's not linked to my card. That's the thing. Yeah, it's linked to her card.
Well, it's cheap enough now that it's not a big deal.
Right, like she squanders away money. So she'll ask for like $20 to go do something and then she'll only spend 10 and then saves the rest for Ubers, I think, is her strategy.
Which is fine, as long as it's the same price as the bus.
Do you think she's doing that type of analysis?
Hard to say, but like it really depends on what the price
Why
is.
is the bus such like why does she work so hard to avoid the bus? By the way, the bus is a city bus, not a school
Mm.
bus. There's no school buses
Yeah.
here. Kids take the city bus, so it's very normal to see a bunch of kids on a not kids like primary school, but middle
High
school and
school
high
bus.
school, yeah.
Yeah.
Or riding bikes, but she also has a riding bike aversion. So C2 gets to hear me, or no, he gets to witness this behavior and my annoyance with it.
Well, okay, so on the bus thing, it really depends. This is my impression because of like heavy times. This is
Hmm.
typically the times when I see middle school or high school students taking the bus. And if I happen to be on those times, then tend to get a little bit crowded,
And
and you might miss certain buses because they're crowded and
yeah,
allow more people in.
she seems to miss them, and then they don't show up or they, like, drive by her. So you think
Right.
that's because 'cause they're full?
Yeah, no, that's definitely because they're full. Because this happens during like festivals and such like events, such as what they had Electric Avenue.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, it definitely happened to be on that when I was trying to go home. That was a bit annoying. So I had to take a totally different route, which did not involve people going to that festival route.
And the Ubers were surging at that time?
Oh, for sure,
Yeah.
100%. Like that, and that was before Didi came to the market, so there was no discounts at all.
Yeah.
It was surging and no discounts. So it was like, no, no, no.
Yeah. That is so annoying. I'd probably just start walking, but I always have so many bags, so maybe not. Okay. So had you ever been to New Zealand before you moved here?
No, actually.
And so you just knew what you knew from online,
Online and
yeah,
looking through
forums.
the pictures, looking through certain the street view,
Yeah.
Google Maps street view, looked around, had some idea of what generally the town or the city looks like, or the place we're gonna be living at, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The university, of course. It seemed all reasonable, but at the same time, like I'm not a super picky person anyway, so
Yeah.
this definitely had a factor into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then has anything surprised you that you weren't anticipating? And if so, what?
I would say like where we are now, like Christchurch, for a city of like let's say 400 to 500,000 is surprisingly busy. Like
Have you felt it get busier since you moved here?
for sure, yeah, I would say
Yeah,
so. Yes,
you can
yeah,
feel the
yeah,
influx.
yeah.
Yeah. So New Zealand as a whole is allegedly losing people to Australia and overseas as a whole, but Christchurch is gaining
Mm.
people from everywhere, from the world, from Auckland, from other parts of New Zealand
I could just certainly see the appeal of moving from Auckland because
to here.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's more expensive and like I would imagine for the same rent pricing, you would get a much better house in Christchurch.
Yeah, until everyone moves here and then it's going to swap back.
But again, but that also depends on supply. If we're talking economics, whether I mean, there's a lot of new builds and projects, so the supply should still be there.
Yeah. Not totally related or at all related to moving to New Zealand and being an immigrant here, but you love AI.
Safe to say.
You're an early adopter.
Yes, yes, we can say that. Yes, okay.
Yeah. And you can find AI community here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I got an email earlier today from that AI community that I went to one event, sort of, kind of with you. Those aren't my people, but they're your people. And so, yeah, do you find that this is a city that's, open and adopting and getting, like, onto that? Or, because they have these industry kind of events that you can go to. It seems like you go to a lot of them.
In terms of like people and businesses, there's definitely a desire collectively
Uh-huh.
to try and adopt more of it.
Yeah.
Uh, there's the disagreement comes in the form of like the how, why, and like the costs perhaps, and then the exact manner and how you want to do it for your specific company or case. We become more of a detailed thing than a kind of a collective thing. I would say collectively, there are more people willing to adopt and use what we call specifically generative AI
Yeah.
in their day-to-day businesses and workflows.
Yeah. 5 months ago, my mom didn't even know what AI was. I feel like, we are using it to do all these things in school and stuff, but she didn't even know. And then the other day I was on the phone and something is taking a really long time and she can't get through to her cell phone provider and she ordered a new phone. It's taking 2 weeks. And she said, with all this AI, I can't believe things are taking so long and I can't get anyone to do anything. And she's like, nothing is faster. Everything's more, slower and harder and, not feeling that. She's definitely not feeling the ease or the payoff with whatever she was trying to achieve. But for someone who hates Excel and data, uh, or analyzing data on my own with my own two eyes, I love it. Yeah, so I'm definitely using it in a different way than what she was trying to achieve, I guess. But so okay, so you're surprised that it's as busy as it is.
There's always something happening,
Yeah,
and to follow up on that, like there's some event that's happening, whether it's in your interest or not is not the case.
right.
but there is something going on, and then you see it all the time. For example, there could be like there's like several symphonies. There's like a Christchurch symphony, and there's
Yeah.
like a New Zealand symphony, and they have events going on. That's just one example. But then you also have like smaller, one, I'm going to say relative, comparatively different organizations like choirs or shows, theater groups, musicals, like there are lots of different things that are always happening, and this is just in like performance arts, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure whether this is like a visibility thing or or the fact is that things are just happening. And I'm not even talking about concerts and your rugby matches
Mhm.
or your football matches, soccer. Yeah, we're not talking about that even. So compared to let's say where I was, like the UAE, like I'm sure there are things happening, but for some reason I don't get enough of that visibility there.
Mhm.
Either that or you're just too busy to like not attend to as many events.
Yeah.
That's a distinct possibility too. But certainly that happens to everyone, I guess.
Spoken like a real academic over here. No assumptions from you. You're just like my vision just sees and assumes, and yours considers the other possibilities. Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't think about it that way, but okay.
Yeah.
That is a compliment.
Yes. CG's been a tutor of mine as well throughout data, numbers, AI tools, but he also wait, what else?
Finance.
Oh, finance. Yeah. Well, that was numbers and data, kind of.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But I texted him the other day because someone was asking me how to do something on either Perplexity or Claude. I don't. No, no, no. He wasn't actually asking how to do it. We were talking about a task or an assignment, and then I said, "Oh, it's actually super easy. You just like prompt Claude to create this for you and do all this." And then he said, "Well, what do I prompt exactly?" And I was like, "Exactly what you want." And yeah, and I walked him through it, and I was like getting a little annoyed because I'm like, well, if I know how to do it, anyone should know how to do this. And then I had more respect and appreciation for you being such a patient teacher because I was like, I just want to turn around and be like, what a dum dum. Like, you should know how to do this. And then I realized that I can't be a tutor like you because I don't have the patience for that. Yeah. So thank you for
Oh, good. Yeah.
I learn from humans. I'm
Mm.
not like a machine learner, so I do like even yeah, so I like to learn from humans, but I guess I don't like to be the human to teach other people.
Well, that brings up
Uh,
an interesting thing, but like if you we're talking specifically about AI now, but like what if the AI takes the perspective of a human? Would you be able to learn from that?
well, even when you were walking me through stuff for the podcast, you guys, I'm going to be doing some ads today, so stick around to hear those because I need to make money now that I have enough listeners. So anyway, yes, we were using Claude or Perplexity to get me through something with podcast stuff, getting it basically, I had it doubling up and all this stuff, just working through some problems I had or troubleshooting and stuff, and then getting some ad organized. So no, that's not what we were doing that day. I was using AI to get me through all of that instruction. We were working on my project and building a website with forms for people to fill out on and then have it automatically email me. So basically, we're working on automation, building a website that had forms that I could give, like it had that people could fill out their information in, and then it would automatically send me an email with this information. Yeah. So we were doing that and coding to make the site. And
Automatically, like
yeah.
live coding, let's just say. Yeah.
And although Claude or Perplexity or whoever we were doing that day was giving me the instructions, it wasn't as easy to find the buttons on the sites that I was looking for or, find the stuff. So you came over my shoulder and were helping me walk through it. So we got through it a lot faster because you had an expert set of eyes. Even though you might not have seen that platform before, you're familiar with so much of that stuff that we were getting the result a lot faster because you were the human teacher on top of the robot teacher. I just call it a robot.
Yeah.
Whether that's right or not, that's just what my choice is. So, yeah.
That makes
And
sense.
so it's not the perspective necessarily of the robot that I don't appreciate. It's that, you know, that I like to get things done now, or I like to get things done yesterday. And it's just like, how fast can I do these things? So your assistance helps me achieve my efficiency of, and I can get frustrated. Like when if Claude was like, do this, I'm like, where's that? I can't find that. And then I start getting mad at it. And I'm like, you gave me bad instructions, where you can like be calm about it and be like, oh, it's right here. Okay, let's troubleshoot and go back and look at this. No, like because you're more in depth or adapt, you're more, I don't know, skilled to play around a little bit and troubleshoot and you don't get frustrated. Like, you're, like, okay taking the time to look around and find the button and find the code, like, whatever we're looking for. Like, you're patient with that.
Part of that, I think, comes from, I suppose, like, just knowledge of the alternative.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if we look at just use that simple website form example that we talked about. If you were to do this without AI, you would have to know the programming language, which I mean, at this point, I think most people know is HTML, but like at least at the minimum, and then you would have to make that website yourself. You can use other manual programs to do this as well. I'm not saying you have to know the direct, let's say,
Yeah.
language, but then even then, you still have to do everything yourself and then put everything together and stuff. And if you have no prior experience in this area, it would take you still a long more time than just prompting some AI to help you do it. Would the AI get everything right in one go? Probably not. In most cases, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You'd have to make adjustments and stuff, and that's part of troubleshooting. But then if you did it the normal way, you still have to do this troubleshooting because you'd be building it from scratch in your own platform program or coding it by hand, whichever method you use. So even with the troubleshooting that you do with generative AI, you're still using less time than if you did it
Oh,
all the other
right.
ways.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
therefore, if you think about it that way, then you shouldn't really get so frustrated because you're still saving a whole heaps of time
Yeah.
to get to your desired outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
But it's almost like this, it has a hold on me. So I've saved, okay, well, like the other day, I created a whole Excel spreadsheet, beautiful Excel spreadsheet with all this coding I needed and formulas and made it pretty. And I mean, that would have taken me days. And it did it for me in probably half an hour with the going like the back and forth prompting to get it just right. But still, and then but because things keep getting faster and easier because of the assistance from AI, I'm moving along faster too. So then my expectations, I'm not I'm not gaining more patience, that's for sure. Like I'm just expecting to keep getting things done faster and more efficiently. And so my humanness not is I don't know how to explain that, but yeah, I'm just expecting more, I think. Yeah. And then you think about, and I just had a conversation with you about going back to New Hampshire soon and going to this place we go to every year when the kids are little, Hermit Island, and it's pretty unplugged. There's no Wi-Fi. Like phone service is pretty spotty, and it's just this really beautiful unplugged experience. And how my kid was like, "I'm not going there with you," although she loved it as a kid, and she's like, "I'm not going without a phone for 2 days," and I'm appalled that she would even consider saying that. But at the same time, here I am 5 minutes later sitting at my computer yelling at a robot that is not doing what I want in the right way the first time. So we just have, like, I can definitely go unplug on a beautiful sandy island with my friends. But when I'm doing my work and trying to get productivity done, I want it now and I want it right. Yeah. So have you found, like, I don't know, how has your experience been, I don't know, with your, like, behavior and your attitude and I don't know, kind of how you feel about it as it's
Well,
continuously improving and getting better and faster and, like, well, you're the one who tells me every day, "Oh, Claude has a new this, they have a new this, oh, there's an add-on, there's this." Like, every day you're telling me some new AI thing that I'm like, "I don't
I
care."
mean, they have one now.
Oh my god. I'm like, "I don't care until I need it."
Yeah.
That's me. Like, I'm like, "But wait, what's the new one today?"
That thing that the U.S. government basically shut down for security
Fable,
reasons. Yeah,
and it's
it's
back?
back now. But then, well, it's free now until the 7th.
And how did you know that? Because you
Uh,
signed on today and you saw it, or
well, I got a bunch of news about it, and plus I got
Oh.
an email from Claude about it.
Why didn't I get an email from Claude about it?
You should have, because whatever
Was it
email.
today?
Yeah, it was today.
I probably deleted it.
Or it might have gone to your spam or something.
Uh,
But yeah.
so you're following news every day. You're getting alerts about like you're signed up for like AI alerts and stuff.
I mean, well, I got this pretty much like when I logged in because like Claude by standard is something that's on my startup. It is like my main productive Gen AI.
Oh,
I have other Gen AI too, but Claude is the main one that I use for work reasons. And so it would just load up and then it would like, it's right there. It's just like, before it used to say that Fable 5 is like available so and so. And then suddenly it says it's available until the date and such. And then now today there's a new message that said it's the most capable model, blah, blah, blah. So,
can it do? What did you do on it today?
well, I haven't used it yet, but I will use it because I'm kind of switching models to basically maximize the usage on this one. But I'm going to save the most difficult task for this.
Okay. What are you gonna do on it?
Probably do some of my, I have some different work streams related to my work. And then there's one thing that's like, let's just say
Coding or
quite
data?
complicated. Yeah, we can say coding. It involves coding. But it's still at a very high conceptual level, so I might just give it my thoughts and then with some supporting documentation, and
Yeah.
then well, at least give me a starting point or a very, very good starting point to then I can just switch back to like normal models after the 7th and then fine tune myself.
So are you paying for Claude? Or
Yes,
is this okay?
I have a
You have the
regular program.
$20 a month
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
and then we get Perplexity for free
Last year's,
for Universe, and then do you pay for chat anymore?
I still
Yeah,
have the
because of the
business
image
one.
creation or just other stuff too?
It it was my most used one, and also it was like I have a business subscription to that with 2 accounts on that,
Oh, that's
so
right. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
which is also the reason I don't
And you paid
maybe
for the year? Or did you get a year one?
no, I paid per
Yeah,
month.
yeah.
Yeah, but then the pricing went down, so I'm not too fussed about that, like,
Oh,
uh,
because they're losing people to everyone else?
possibly, yeah. But the image generator is still really good on it.
It
That is
is.
one reason to, keep with it. And then there was a recent trial for a 3 months discount. Like you pay for 1 month and you get 3 months for
Yeah,
Grok. So I'm just kind of trying it out just because,
okay.
just as a point of
Yeah, to see what it can do.
comparison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and especially I was actually in a lecture that you were teaching. I don't know if we call it a lecture, but I'm just gonna call it that, about AI to some of the summer startup
Oh, right. Yes.
entrepreneurs, and I remember someone raised his hand and said, "What do you think about Gronk?" And you
Okay.
gave a very diplomatic, great answer,
Yeah.
but also because you are teaching people about these resources and the processes and everything, I think it is really important that you're using all of them
Right.
because
At least the
this
mainstream
is a
ones.
big part of your job, yeah,
Mm.
to know. And I've been using them to create images and stuff like for the podcast and everything, but I start like sometimes when I see other people using them in times that I think they should be using humans instead of AI models, I get the real ick. I know. I'm like a hypocrite. I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, ew, use real humans. I don't want to see AI models, even though I'll put my real face into something and say, make me this picture with a background or whatever. But I'm like, oh, it's still my face. But yeah, I do. Yeah, it does give me not great feelings to get on social media and see everyone doing AI arts and stuff
Mm.
because there's still I don't know. No, it's very I'm in a weird feeling. I'm in a weird place in all of this where I want it to be used, but not all the time. I don't know. The other thing I was gonna say about with it was something that you and I were doing, something we created. I can't remember now.
So I can explain this a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So this is there's a caveat about like the extent of what I know,
Yeah.
because I'm not a computer science like background, but I know I've read enough to have some sort of understanding about this, is that when you're looking at what the AI is producing or the Gen AI is producing is that it has been done at some point by a human. So it's not creating something that is absolutely new.
Mhm.
And because all it's doing is cross-referencing a whole lot of data.
Yeah.
And the cross-referencing of that data can lead to some new, what we consider new outcomes, because people have not gone into those areas of inquiry before, like,
Yeah.
or research, let's just say, research those areas before. In that aspect, like AI, or generative AI is actually very useful because it helps you fill in those gaps of knowledge that we collectively as humans have. In those areas, it fills them better and, well,
Mhm.
just say faster. Not necessarily better, because everything still has to be reviewed and make sure everything makes sense,
Oh, yeah,
in relation,
definitely needs to be reviewed,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, but it helps to identify those, like, missing links. If, like, let's say one discipline does things in a certain manner, but then you can take that same process and apply it to another discipline, which may or may not need that process, but it could lead to something new, then that's still a value add that someone may not have seen before, but the AI pointed it out that
Yeah.
that it's a possibility. Whether it's actually useful or not, it's something you have to go out and test.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's just one example. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my point here is that the limits of what AI can do here, we're talking purely on generative AI here,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
really depends on the furthering of the human imagination. So therefore, like, humans will not get outdated because we still have to think new ideas,
Mhm.
which can be then put into the AI.
Yeah.
That's totally normal these days. And then you can just, of course, choose not to as well. Keep
Yeah.
your ideas more offline, more private. That's, again, this is an individual decision.
Yeah.
So the point is that the AI by itself will not actually expand itself, contrary to what people may think. Of
Mm.
course, like, I don't exclude possibilities of the future. We want to have a super intelligence and such like that. So there is a chance that through a cycle of self prompting, at
Yeah.
some point, like, an AI might be able to, quote unquote, think for itself and expand knowledge by itself, but the current capability doesn't seem to point that way yet.
Yeah.
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 Again, this is the extent of what I know.
Yeah. Well, you can get a little bit more into the AI relationships, like, or like talking to it a bit more than I am. So that's why I joke around that if I feel like you're becoming too close with your AI bots or the AI people, like if I feel like you're talking to them too much, I'm gonna pull you back out. Like I'm gonna be like, okay, come on, come talk to me. Well, oh, this is what I used it for this week. So I'm trying to buy my kids secondhand skis. Now, I ski on a racing ski. I have because I'm a racer and I have my whole life basically. And I like that's what I'm familiar with. That's what I like. So, and the skis I ski on here, even though I don't race anymore, they're my old racing skis from back in the US and I'm fine on them. And I just like don't really want to spend money on new skis because it's fun. When we went to Japan, I didn't bring my skis and we rented powder skis and stuff. And that was a really new experience for me. And I'm like, ooh, I really like these, but I'm not going to get powder at Mount Hutt in New Zealand. I'm not really going to get that kind of powder in New Hampshire or whatever. So it was an experience and I liked it. And I think there are some all mountain skis that I might like, but anyway, I'm just not investing. But my kids have actually outgrown their stuff. Like they're outgrown it. When we went to Japan, they rented and we just have no ski equipment left for them. So I'm looking for stuff here and there's just a smaller amount because it's Christchurch in New Zealand is a smaller population. So a lot of stuff on Marketplace and Trade Me. Trade Me is like the New Zealand eBay kind of, except more ethical. Like, did you know you can't just bid at the last second? If you bid at the last second, it allows all the other bidders an opportunity to come on and bid again. So you can't use that strategy. Yeah. Anyway, so I bid on something on Trade Me with this German guy. I won and I went and picked it up. No, I did a buy now. I went to him in human I emailed him through the app, or it wasn't really because you can only make comments that are public. So what I asked, he had to answer and everyone can see it. And he's like, "I can't really pull this off the bid because the bids have already started, so, like, I can't." I was like, "Can you pull this off and I'll buy it now?" And he's like, "No, because people bid." Anyway, I went and picked up the other pair from him. Then he had ski boots, and he's like, "Take the ski boots, let your kids try them on or whatever, and, I trust you." This is after meeting for 5 seconds. German guy, I showed up in my American flag sweater yesterday because I was going to watch the US soccer team play. And so, like, I'm like, "Hey!" And I'm like, "But" Anyway, so he ended up pulling the other pair and I picked them up today.
Okay.
Yeah, he sold them to me.
Mm.
But the whole point was okay, you can see pictures of skis on Trade Me on Marketplace, but if they don't say racer or something, like I don't know what type of ski they are. So I was taking the images and the descriptions that the people gave, but the people give what they want. I was taking the images, putting them into Claude and saying, what type of ski is this? How old is it approximately? Because some of these losers out there are trying to sell me 20-year-old skis with ancient bindings that are probably not safe, although my father would call them safe because my father's been skiing on like the same skis for a million years. But anyway, we don't want to be like my dad. Like, we don't need to be wearing our ski equipment from the 70s. That's his personality, not mine. So anyway, I was putting him into Claude, and it was by the graphics and stuff and different things, it was able to give me like 2009, 2010, like rough ideas. And like, I was like, no, this person wants $200 for 20-year-old skis. Okay, no. But it was also able to say, this is a racing ski. This is for an aggressive skier. This is for a beginner, intermediate. Like, and I was looking for an all mountain kind of intermediate ski for my kids. They're not racers, but they can do they can do all the terrain. So it was really helpful.
Yeah.
And
But there's a company that does that here for rocks.
for rocks,
Yeah.
like gemstones,
No,
like,
like geology rocks.
oh, geology
Yeah,
rocks.
yeah, they would look at an entire catalog of rocks and
And
be able to classify them, do that through image recognition.
so this company is going out of business because AI can do it for them
No,
now?
no, no, no. That's what they do. That no,
Oh, they're
that's
using AI
yeah,
to
that's
do that.
part of what they do. It's not all. I would say so. It's a global company.
Oh,
It's,
okay. Okay.
yeah.
That's cool. I mean, I like a gemstone and rock, but I wouldn't know how to
Mm.
classify it or rate it. Maybe a diamond.
I don't think they do that type of
No,
stone.
no, no.
It's more like different types of rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. So anyway, those are just like school and work things, but then also just handy in life type of things.
Mm.
But also,
But here, see,
it
like,
is making me lazier for sure.
so since you also have some already an idea of what it is, that also makes using it to identify these types of skis and such more well. Its output is how do I put this? Like you can verify its output.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be saying completely random thing, and if it does for some reason, like it gets it totally wrong, then you can still call it out on it. Are you sure? Is this actually correct? Don't you think it looks more like this? Then it would reason it a little bit more and then perhaps come to a different conclusion as well.
Yeah.
That said, it could still double down on what it says it is actually as well from its point of view,
Yeah.
and then it would list out reasonings of why that is as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are all different cases of like how you can it can help you basically make a decision or, whether you have to go look for that particular pair of skis and such or whether it's worth it.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
You can even go broader and like have it like do like a comparative kind of what's the average pricing across the city and such like that.
Yeah.
That for a more, let's say, comprehensive
Yeah.
view. So and then you can determine whether you're underpaying or overpaying.
Yeah.
I mean, if you choose to, you don't have to. Like if the price is right, and then you saw it and then you liked it, then
I do
might
have a
as
little
well.
buyer's remorse over one of the 4 items I bought, to be
Okay.
honest,
Yeah.
and that was, like, after I was doing more research last night, but I'm like, "It is." I can recoup my money on it, I know that, so I'm like,
Yeah.
we'll use it for this weekend, which was the need, and then I'll, like, look into fixing it later.
So have you already gone?
We're going on Sunday.
Okay. Right. Okay.
But I
When
think
Christian went last weekend.
one of the pair we didn't end up going. One of the pairs, because we didn't have the skis and I had to get them at the rental shop, and then it was just like that extra step just it hinders you going because I also didn't wanna pay $50 per kid per day to rent equipment to not get a full day. So, not having your own stuff puts it's not allowing us to use our passes for their full capacity because it just weighs on me. So just having and now Annika's feet, I'm sure, done growing. So these and the boots that I got for her are a really, really high-end boot, like far superior than my boots.
Okay.
So those will be good, I think, for her for a long time. And then one of the pairs of skis I got, which I think will be on us, are fantastic. They're imported from Germany and they are great. They're only 4 years old, and so that was a good value. The other pair is the pair like, the one Lennox is gonna get, definitely not probably for mountain hut skiing, which is kinda bare at times, icy. Anyway, we'll find out, but We I love how the moving to New Zealand became an AI chat, but that's okay because that's relevant, and I think relevant to your a part of your overall New Zealand journey
I
is
would
that you have, like, you've adopted it, you've taught it, you help people with it, your everyday, it's wouldn't you say it's kind of a big part of your New Zealand lifestyle and life here? Just through school, work.
I would say so. It's been very helpful overall, I
Yeah.
would say. It's like,
Yeah. And so, anything else that you would like to add about living here, your life here? You really don't complain about anything here like I do. At
well,
least, at least out loud.
there's always things that could be better, but like I would okay, this again, I think this is also like a background kind of thing because comparatively speaking, you are more free to express things
Yeah.
and such here than sure and than in the
Yeah.
in the UAE.
Yeah.
So just from that perspective, it's actually refreshing in a
There's
way.
a sense of freedom here for you,
Yeah,
for sure.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yes.
And the reason I don't feel that is because I came from a very different background.
Yeah.
And I think the other day I said something to you. I'm like, you told me something. I can't remember, honestly. And then I go, oof, that's my American. Oh, we were talking about visas and stuff. But I was like, that's my American privilege right there shining through because that's the only perspective I have is being an American, with an American
Yeah.
passport and American roots or whatever. So that's all I got. And so having friends like you helps me gain perspectives of other people, and it points out a privilege that I have that I didn't know I had until you meet people that don't have it, kind of, that kind
I
of
can
thing.
see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but you don't like the word privilege.
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah,
that too
yeah.
because I think it's just the natural right that just
Like,
happens.
it's not my fault I was born there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't be a fault. It actually
Yeah.
should be a point of good fortune for you.
Yes. Yeah.
So I find it very okay. I can understand from because I have a finance background too. I can understand why people might not want to be U.S. citizens, in the, future wise. But you do it for any other reason, then it's like it's just strange to me because it's like you have a fairly unassailable or difficult to compare advantage in life,
Yeah.
and to throw it away for other reasons, it's very, very odd to me.
You actually just brought up another point that another new perspective. So, my friend in America is on a school board. Actually, I have several friends on school boards, different school boards, and just watching things that are happening in my own local school back home and things that people are really upset about and stuff. And those are things that would definitely, if I was still living there, I'd be at those school board. I would be at those meetings. I'm sure I'd be upset. I'd be writing those emails. I would be doing all that stuff. But after living here and realizing, like, some of the things that people in the schools now back home just expect, feel entitled to, feel like they are owed, like their services, their like whole opportunities, services, extra staff members, maybe like special rooms and special things, like all these things that people feel like they're entitled to there, we do not have in our New Zealand school systems. Like, absolutely not. Like, no, like our primary schools don't have a cafeteria. You just go out and eat outside on the porch or in your classroom. We don't have all these extra aides and staffs and school nurses and guidance counselors and OTs and PTs and, this and that. We don't have that stuff at school. Teachers teaching 35 kids in a classroom with no aid, but all of like but it just works. It just works here. And I don't email the school to complain really about anything at all. I emailed Annika's school last week to complain about her. And she pulled something that was a little bit entitled. And I just wanted them to know, like, other parents called their kids out sick. And I was like, absolutely not. First of all, I don't say my kids are sick when they're not sick. That's bad karma. Second of all, I wasn't gonna be her excuse. I wasn't gonna say she was sick when she just wanted to skip this activity they were doing. I'm like, no, I'm pissed off. I want her to push boundaries and go out of her comfort zone and go to this activity that you guys are doing, whether she wants to or not. So the fact that she didn't go to it, or she didn't go to school and didn't go, I'm very disappointed. And I was happy that the school also showed their disappointment with the kids that didn't do it. But and she's like, every other mom just called their kid out and understood. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not every other mom. And I don't.
Curious what this was now.
It was they had a swim day where they went to Pakiori.
Parakeet.
Say it again.
I think it's Parakeet or
Yeah, it
something.
is. The letters are mixed up in my
Yeah.
brain, and I even looked at the sign the other day
Mm.
for, like, 20 minutes. I'm like, "Paracuri, Paracori, Paracori." I was at their basketball game. Did you know we had a basketball team, Canterbury Basket Rams?
Oh, I didn't know that.
And
Okay.
Paracord has like, the place where Lennox plays netball opened up, and it was all basketball court with, like, yeah, it was, like, bleachers and everything, and so we went to that game very last minute, and it was actually really fun, and our team played, like, from the Hawke's Bay or whatever, and, but it was there, and they kept saying the name of the new it's a new sports center in
Yeah.
town, and so Lennox plays netball there, they have these professional in quotes, basketball games, and then they have the gym and the whole swimming pool thing and everything like that. And so, yeah, so they were going there to have a swim. Well, in primary school here, they have like swim day. They go to the local pools and they compete in all the stuff,
Okay.
backstroke, this, that,
Oh.
like all the swimming events. And everyone has to participate in elementary school,
Mm.
everyone. But now her high school hadn't done it since in a while. So this was the first time they've done it in years. And they wanted all the kids to participate. And if you refuse to participate, they at least wanted you to go and cheer on your other classmates who are skilled in swimming. And there was like synchronized swimming as well, which I'm like, oh, I would have loved to watch that, and be a good leader and a good classmate. They call them clan mates there. That's
Yeah.
cool. They're in a clan, which is a little weird, but
Is that like every
it's their
like split
it's like
between
their group, like their whānau, their family. Like it's not even just their year. It's like the whole school and she's in one clan.
do they have multiple classes in the same
Yes.
school?
Oh, yeah, 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 multiple times.
Or is
So
this like a competition thing within
yeah,
the
yeah,
school?
yeah. So
Okay,
it's
yeah.
like team spirit.
Yeah.
It's like
I have that.
supporting your
Yeah.
classmates. It's like
How
supporting
many
your
about
peers. What?
how many
In the whole
in the
clan
whole
or the
school?
school? Honestly, I don't know. I
Uh,
would say probably 5, not 600, 700 in the whole school, but it's an all-girls school.
I mean, we had
Oh, so there weren't even boys there. That was my other thing. It wasn't even boys. Like, it was just a safe place of girls. And so, yeah, 50% of the kids didn't go. And I was just like,
we had similar too in that instead of clans, at least I don't know if they still do it, but like when I was in the same school from kindergarten to end of high school. So they basically had a house system, kind of similar to
yeah,
Hogwarts actually. But we were all like birds of prey though. So it was
what
all
does that mean?
like eagles, hawks,
Oh,
falcons.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that was the before.
Okay,
Yeah, everyone had different
hers,
different colors for each of them too. And then you
um,
can move between them too, or they arbitrarily move you as well at a certain point. It was weird.
guess who's in an Uber? Guess who's in a freaking Uber?
Can
Because
you see the cost or
I
not
can
really?
see that she has texted me 22 times. I'm not gonna open them because I'm on red or we'll show her. But the last one is, "I'm feeling stressed out." She's feeling stressed out every time she has to take the bus. And, like, this is a kid that doesn't get stressed out about stuff. So this is, like, a weird thing.
Is there like some phobia that developed from putting on the bus?
When
Possible.
I'm working full time, she seems to get on that bus.
Well, no, that becomes like uh, well, in that case, it becomes like a how do I put this? I have no choice.
I gotta cut her off of Uber. But the thing
Well, no,
is,
but the
like,
thing is,
it's
like,
like I need it for, like well, first of all, she could just sign up for her own account
no, but
and
like,
not be under mine.
but yeah, but currently the Uber is like
It's
at,
cheap.
at,
How much do you think it was?
it's like a seventy
I'll
percent off. It could be like the bare minimum. Could be like 2.5.
I'll get a receipt in a few minutes, and we'll see how much it costs to go from town to home. But
Yeah, from town to there. It's probably close to the minimum. I would imagine it's probably between like 3 and 5 after the discounts, assuming the discounts were used.
yeah. So, I don't know, that's
Which
just
is
like, it
if it's like
you're
if it
trying to look at it as an economic thing, like, if it costs the same amount to take the bus,
yeah,
just let her take the
well,
Uber,
it's actually
and I'm looking at it as, like, a mothering thing a mother who has a daughter who's entitled right now.
well, no, but, like, even on the title part, like, it's actually a good lesson to use it now because it's economical,
Mm,
because you're saving time.
but then she's gonna get used to this
No,
luxury.
that's on her to not get used to
Yeah,
it because then you'd be paying easily 10 times the amount without the discount, in
yeah.
which case, that's just not a good practice.
But we're talking about a 15-year-old who also gets addicted to her phone. So we can't be so sure she's not
Well,
gonna
no,
get
but, like
addicted to Uber. No.
but here's the thing though, like, the allowance is still fixed, right? Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
instead of taking, like, let's say 3, 4 rides, what was it? How frequently do you give allowance?
a lot like money
The $20 you mentioned earlier.
once a week,
Yeah,
but
okay.
that's for like everything. And then,
Right, right.
but
Let's
yeah.
assume that. Okay. So you said like to use that example, $20 a week. You said like she saves like 10 for Ubers. Fine. Like, but that's then at the current prices. Like
Oh, right.
if
Yeah.
she's gonna end up using all that 20 for one ride,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like quickly you'll realize that this is not the way to go.
Yeah.
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 That's true. Yeah. And so anyway, that was kind of my me where I was talking about just like schools here. I just don't think to complain. Here's another example. They really need volunteer coaches for Lennox's
Mm.
school and for winter sports, which will start after the in the
All right.
next term.
So something you did before? Yeah.
I coached the hockey when Annika
Yeah.
was there, the B team,
Mhm.
and I've coached the netball B team either 1 or 2 years
Mhm.
actually. So it's like and I always get the B team because I'm not really a coach and I don't even know netball that well. I'm getting better because Lennox is playing more, but I didn't play myself. So Lennox is upset because they she would have been on the 8th. She's the oldest person, she probably would've been on the A team, but because I'm coaching the B team, they put her on the B team, and so now she's, like, upset, she's like, "I wish you didn't even volunteer because now I'm being penalized for you being a nice person, and now I have to go on the B team and everything." And I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna email them and say, like" well, I did actually before all this, I said, "Don't worry about putting me with Lennox, I like coaching other kids anyways, especially the kids." Lennox gets to play club netball, club corf she plays school basketball, she gets to ski with her family. My kids don't go without, when it comes to these things. I like to coach the kids at school that don't get to play sports outside of school. Like their school sports are the only thing. So if I don't step up and coach a B team, these kids don't get to play the team sports because this is their one opportunity.
Makes sense.
So it is really important to me as a service, as a human, as a mother, as a person who cares about kids to make sure these kids get an opportunity. So I actually prefer coaching the kids that this might be their only chance. So I said, "Don't worry about putting me with Lennox. I'm happy with the other kids. Like I'm giving my time, I'm giving my time. Doesn't need to be with
Yeah.
my own kid." So,
As it should,
yeah.
because if they really did it for this reason, then it's kind of strange because, like, if she was really great at the sport and then, like, she should just be on the A team because she's actually really good.
But unless they want to put some of the good people on the B team so the B team has a chance.
Well,
That
I don't know what their
I
strategy
don't
is.
know what the
Yeah.
strategy
Yes,
was.
yeah.
And I got why she was upset about going on the B team because she's plays for a club now and
Mm,
she does well.
yeah.
But, and so anyway, so I was like I almost was gonna email and be like, "Oh, it's not really fair that she's getting penalized." But then I'm like, "No, I'm not. Nope, there's still a lesson to be learned here. She can go play on the B team and she can be the better person on the B team. Maybe she can be the strongest player on the B team instead of like, average on the A team. And maybe she can help coach, not coach, but she can help be a good example to kids on the B team that don't get to play on a club team. Like be the stronger player." So I was like, "No, I'm not gonna say anything." And it's almost I've
Different
got to this
lessons.
point that
Yeah.
I don't email and complain schools at all anymore. Like, I just don't. And another thing is, like, we actually in the high school, we're not allowed to. That email I sent about being disappointed in my kid not going to that thing was in response to her team leader teacher writing an email about how successful the event was and how proud she was of the kids who went. Which I know only like 50% went, so it was definitely a dig at the ones that didn't
Okay.
as well,
Yeah.
and then that's when I responded and said, "Just wanna let you know, I wasn't one of the parents making excuses for my kids. I'm mad mine didn't go." Like, I was just like, I don't know. It wasn't a complaint, it was like saying, "I appreciate what you are doing at pushing kids to push boundaries, so thank you very much. I'm sorry my kid didn't step up to the plate." But that wasn't a complaint. So, anyways, in high school, parents are not supposed to email at all. Kids have to solve their own problems. If you have an issue with your grade, your homework, your teacher, anything, you go to the teachers yourself. You email the teachers, no parent contact. I mean, unless there's like, I'm sure there's some circumstance, but I'm not in that.
Mm.
So that's that. In primary school, Lennox begs me not to email or call, nothing. She wants zero contact from me. She's like, I will take care of everything. Even the permission slips, she fills them out and I just sign them. Yeah, she's just like, "Never email my teachers because I don't want them to think I'm not responsible enough to take care of it myself." And she doesn't say don't email them like, because she's hiding something. I mean, she's a house captain. Like, if she did something bad, they would tell me. She just doesn't want me to get involved to make her look not responsible. So
It's a
it
very independent attitude.
it's definitely not really American school, like, I don't think, like, not in my experience, but I've been gone a while, but, yeah, so I definitely think the schools here being less coddling creates more independence possibly. Are there services that some kids with special needs need and they're not getting here? That's possible probably. I really can't speak to it because I'm not in that, although Lennox was like, "My teacher keeps asking if I'm dyslexic." I'm like, "Well, Jesus Christ, like 12 years old, I'd hope someone would have caught up on this." Yeah, so that I say all this, but then I'm like, imagine if we find out my kid's 13 and that's like they're just now coming around to letting me know that they've thought that for a while. I need to
But I imagine you did test already on that. Or some
Why would I test if I
oh,
didn't know it
no,
was a
like
problem?
very true. No, but it would have shown in some way.
Yeah, I got a report
Yeah,
yesterday and
mhm,
nothing was
yeah.
incredibly bad.
Yeah, like, as I'm saying, they in some way or another, you would have found out about this inadvertently.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they would have had certain, let's say, problems in digesting the knowledge.
Also,
Yeah.
another thing is when I said that in front of her friend, I was like, "Well, maybe you're dyslexic." Like, said as a joke, and her friend was like, "Oh, that's bad." And I noticed that here, like, people, like, use dyslexia like it's, like, some nasty label. I'm like, "Really?" Like, I don't like, my dad I don't never thought of that as being bad. I don't like because so many smart people have it and they overcome it. It's not
Mm,
really that debilitating, and how people
yeah.
react to that word here,
There
even
was
the
an entire
teachers
event
told
on
me
that.
I know even I didn't go to it, but the UC did one on it. I know, but maybe there was an event because there is some crazy stigma in New Zealand about it. Like,
Possible, yeah.
no, the teachers here told me that they're like, "Oh, we don't like to say that word. We don't like to say that word."
Okay.
But then again, I went to some special
Maybe
speakers for the organization that I mentor for about 4 years ago, and they were talking about autism and ADHD like they were brand new to the country. Like I was like, how do these people not know what that is? So maybe there is a stigma for dyslexia here.
mm.
Is there in that thing you went to? Did they talk about that?
Well, they talk very openly about that. I
Yeah.
think, like, if memory serves me right, at least a couple of people on the panel had
Okay.
dyslexia, and then they were very successful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
so
many. Yeah.
no, I think the impression I got from the event was that it raised a bunch of awareness and, like, and how this people with dyslexia had, let's say, very, very interesting or unique perspectives that they can provide to companies and to the society at large as well. So I think that was the main takeaway that I remember from that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good that people are talking about it like it's not some scary word. Okay. Any lasting thoughts you want to share with my audience? I mean, it's American audience, but also from around the world. So I should have made you give more perspective about being from where you're from, but it's okay. Maybe another time.
Well, that's okay. Like, I was gonna say that, well, we're currently America's playing host to the all the football people, and I think looks like that's actually very good.
Football, soccer.
Y
Yeah.
yeah, football/soccer.
Yeah.
I'm used to football. Like, this is where I don't accept the American terms,
That's okay. You
even
don't
though
have to.
no, even though I live there. I mean, there are things that I accept from America that I kept with me. Probably primarily the accent, but that's a matter of debate as well.
Yeah. I think he sounds American, but you guys can chime in if you agree with me or not. Yeah.
I probably sound more American than Kiwi or British.
Yeah, for sure. Wait, do you think the World Cup is doing America a good thing right now?
I would say so, yes, both ways, because one of the trends that came about was the whole ranch thing.
I don't even like ranch.
No, man, yeah,
No, I know.
I'm ambivalent about it too, but then there are, like, people who've never had it in their life, and then they're all crazy about it, so I think that's a good thing.
Do you like ranch?
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't love or hate it, but I think it's okay. I would rather go with plain mayonnaise over ranch, and I would rather go with, like, what was it? The Japanese one? Kiwi mayo.
Yeah.
I'd rather go with that over regular mayo. That's my order of preferences, but,
Yeah.
like, once in a while, sure, it's a nice sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it depends on how it's made, but that's a different
I like
thing,
homemade.
yeah.
I do not like mayonnaise and I do not like ranch, but I like my homemade mayonnaise and my homemade ranch. And
Mm.
it actually comes down, I think, more to a texture than maybe taste too, but like, yeah, I don't know. But there's so many things that Americans really miss, like living here, like all this junk food, and I don't miss any American junk food, which ranches are junk food. Regular Hidden Valley ranches are junk food, in my opinion. But yeah, no, like Dorito, I don't even know, like whatever all the junky stuff is. I know, but apparently they're not the same. They're
Oh, they're
not
not?
red dye 40. Yeah. No, I mean, I've interviewed Americans on this podcast that actually miss red dye 40 and like preservatives and like chemicals. Like, so, I mean,
Next thing you're gonna tell me that the Pringles are actually potatoes.
like Pringles just have a weird chemical taste. Like,
That puts it on potatoes.
what are they?
They're like processed starch or something like
Yeah, it's
that.
not even like,
It's yeah, no,
ugh.
it's actually a very, very high percentage of ultra processed. It's like 70 or 80% like ultra processed.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't taste like food to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried something the other day, a drink my kid had too, and I was like, I spit it out. I was like, this actually tastes like a chemical bomb. Like, how did your taste buds like
It's
this?
like that one those that the Instagram guy, like you would say like this is like a chemical concoction.
Yeah, it is. I mean, American food is. I
Well,
know
not just
there's
that, like
what?
in general, like
Yeah,
I don't know about most like beverages.
yeah.
They're basically like some form of chemical
Ugh,
concoction.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the message I'll have. Like stick to your coffee and your tea
When I
and your infusions.
when I go home next week, what I want for American food is cheap fruit because like all the berry, like fruit
Yeah.
is just well, it's in season all year round. Although I don't know if it will be cheap because their costs went up too. But Maine lobster, PEI oysters, like that, like oysters from that
Region,
region.
yeah.
Yeah, kombucha that
Wasn't
doesn't have stevia.
wasn't you well, I know Maine is popular for seafood, but
Yeah.
like for oysters and stuff, is it New England?
Well, the oysters come from, like, Canada right above,
Oh,
like,
okay.
Prince Edward Island,
Yeah.
and but there's other in that New England area, like, that whole, like, area of New England and then up to Canada.
'Cause you have clam chowder there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
clam chowder. I don't love the consistency of chowder. That's another texture thing. It's not against the clams. But, yeah, so the lobster, the oysters, other seafood too, and then, yeah, like, getting kombucha that doesn't have stevia and that like, well, so here, if, like, you get kombucha that doesn't have stevia, it's, like, $10 for a
Mhm.
bottle that's tiny. So, like, anyways, just, like, a better variety of kombucha and nitro brew coffee. Do you know what nitro
Oh,
brew
yes,
is?
yeah.
You can there's 2 places in Christchurch that have it. One is in Riverside, but they're,
It's the
like, always out.
specialized
Well, it comes from a keg.
yeah.
So it gives it that nice, like,
Mm.
creamy layer, so it almost looks like a cream, but there's no dairy or
Yeah.
no milk or anything. And then Starbucks in the city has Nitro Brew, but they say no one buys it, like, no one. And I don't really like Starbucks, but, like, I will get their Nitro Brew sometimes, just because there's nowhere else. But, yeah, the one I want is called Noble, and it's in New England. It came from New Hampshire. I used to sell it at my store, and it's a good one. And
Yeah, there's certainly some, let's say, food items that I do miss from the US that you don't really get the same even if like it's a bit if it's available, you just don't see.
Mexican
Yeah, Mexican. I mean,
and good sushi.
in the US? Good
Well,
sushi?
compared to here.
Oh, yeah, okay. Then that's
Here,
yeah,
sushi's
that's true.
like
Yeah.
canned tuna and chicken. And
Yeah.
not raw chicken.
Well,
They just, like, cook chicken and put it into rice and seaweed and call it sushi.
to be fair, okay, the sushi here, like if you're talking about catering, that's totally different. Like if you actually went to the one from Japanese restaurants, they're actually quite decent because it's actually closer to being authentic because you're closer,
Yeah.
let's say, to Japan here. So and it depends on whether if it's like prepared by Japanese people or not.
Well,
So that
yeah.
yeah, you have that difference. But what I'm getting at from the US is more like your, for example, like if I had a chili Philly cheesesteak because I lived in Philly before, it's just not the same.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, or like your classics, like what was I talking about? Like Pat and Geno's. Yeah, like those were the classic ones. Like you can't replicate that in other places.
No.
Like even if like they sell it and they use the moniker, it's just not the same.
The Japanese chefs that I've talked to here said that the sushi issue here is not a lack of skill.
Mhm.
Obviously, these are
Okay.
like Japanese chefs.
Yeah.
One Japanese chef said he trained in San Francisco, but he said it's a lack of consistency in the materials, in the food,
That's true. I agree with that. Yeah.
so first of all, the cost of fish is so it fluctuates so much
Mm.
that they can't create a menu and a pricing and stuff because so sourcing it and pricing it is such a variable
Mm.
that that's why they just, like, don't they just stick with, like, the 3 same things, and they don't do a lot of, like, fun stuff, unless maybe you go to some like high-end place, you know.
That makes sense. That
Yeah.
tracks actually very well, yeah.
Yeah.
And then why a lot of, like, I'm gonna say relatively affordable, like, Japanese places, they would stick to, like, the tried and true stuff of, like, yeah, fried chicken, like
Yeah.
chicken karaage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
would stick to those, menu items, which is not bad, it's done really well, but, it's not, like, something funky and stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's
Those
not
those funky,
funky.
yeah.
It's very plain
Mm,
Jane. Yeah. Okay. So, thank you for being here and answering
most
my
welcome. Yeah,
questions,
yeah.
and we will see you next time, folks. When I was at the gym this morning, I looked down and realized that I had this huge hole in my workout pants, like right in the spot that you really don't want a hole. And I was like, oh, good thing I have underwear on today under these because that would have been a show. So, anyway, I have a lot of my old Fabletics leggings and other like Old Navy and stuff, and they've just all seen their last day. So, on my trip home to the US coming up, I am definitely getting new exercise leggings and pants. And one brand that I had shipped to my mom's house already is Tona Activewear, and they're a designer gym legging. And they were originally like one of the founders had been an original designer for Lululemon, but now started this line of premium leggings called Tona. And it's designed for women who train hard like me. I did 308 pounds of hip thrust this morning. I have to convert it from kilograms to pounds, but I think it was like 200 pounds of deadlifts. Anyway, it always sounds better in pounds than kgs. But I definitely train hard and my leggings are showing it. So these leggings are like a push up bra for your butt. And I want that and I need that because I'm getting old and it's sagging. So I have the black pair going to my mom's house. And with my code of AshleyNZ or AshleyNZ if you're a Kiwi, it is 16% off any product. And I am looking forward to trying them on and using them. And so if you want to try some too, go and use my discount code. And that will be very appreciated.